Today, this is your day. And I know it's kind of par for the course that it's everything you do. But today, you are publicly being recognized for it. You deserve it because as a father, you carry so much weight on your shoulders all the time. And normally you don't get acknowledged for it. But today, again, it's that public acknowledgement. And I want to kind of let all my fathers know, but especially the single fathers out there, because the single fathers out here, we are the chief cook and bottle washers for our entire family unit. We're doing this on a daily basis because we want to make sure that our kids are growing up becoming the best versions of themselves. And we want to make sure they're modeling our behavior. They're doing what we expect of them. And for that, we're actually being acknowledged. Again, as a single father, the world doesn't expect that we can even handle taking care of our family. So to be acknowledged for what the world doesn't expect of us, that's incredible. Because even though the world doesn't care or it doesn't really matter, the ones that do matter, those people in your family unit, those kids that are seeing daddy is doing everything that he needs to do to make our lives better. They don't even realize how hard you have to work to do your thing. But that is actually a part of the situation. See, when you do your circumstances so smoothly that the people you influence don't even realize it, you're doing a good thing. Now, I want to take a second to separate this understanding because Father's Day is actually for the dads out here. Any man can be a father. Biologically, you can create the child. You're not the ones I'm talking about. I'm talking about the guys that stick out the difficult situations. The ones that don't make excuses about circumstances. And I'm not talking about the ones that don't get what they deserve even though they're fighting. That's different. I'm talking about the men out here that don't even know their children. Their children don't even know them. You cannot claim Father's Day at this point. If you're fighting to achieve fatherhood status, even if it's not working out right now, you're still fighting. You deserve to be called a father. Even if things aren't necessarily working out the way they need to work out right now. And if you are a man who has been taking on all of the duties of a father, you're a real dad. A real dad, that's that guy that's going to stay up late. He's going to help the kids with homework. He's going to sit down with his son or his daughter and have a conversation with them. He's going to be in their lives, not just around them. He's actually going to be in his children's lives. I mean, look, when you make that decision to handle your fatherly responsibilities, it's not easy. But what you've done is you've made an active decision to say, I have to take responsibility because I love the people in this family. I love these children. And remember, if it wasn't for your children, you wouldn't have the ability to actually enjoy this day. Understand that just like they want to acknowledge you, you need to acknowledge them because they taught you how to handle this different level of responsibility. You are taking care of the family unit. You are molding, guiding, teaching young people how to make it through this world. They're looking at you as the role model. I want to take a quick second to acknowledge a lot. I work with a lot of different Facebook groups and things like that. And I want to just take some time to acknowledge them because, see, community is key for a father. Remember, we don't have many outside sources. But if we have a community of other fathers that understand, or if there's an outside community of people that are empathetic to the things we go through, it's good to know that you are being acknowledged for what you're doing. So I want to definitely give a shout out to a gang of different Facebook communities. First, my man Mike, he worked with the organization called Grief Tribe Men. And it allows men to be able to put their feelings out there, to be able to say, I'm having this stressful day. And then they get acknowledgement from other men who are saying, look, I've been there, I've done that. Here's a way you can look at things. And it's beneficial because when you're able to get expert information from people that have experience, it allows you to be able, as a man, it allows you to be able to test drive some of that information. It might work to your advantage. Another group that I really want to acknowledge, there's a young lady by the name of Miss Marvetta. And she has a group called Voice Inspirational. And in her group, she talks about how relying on God will give you the strength that you need. So I want to acknowledge the fathers that are in that group because your spirituality, it's important. It's important because you draw that strength from the Lord and you can exude that strength to the rest of your family. So that's important. And another group I want to acknowledge is my man Jahid. He's got a group called the Single Fatherhood or the Spirit of Fatherhood. And it's an organization that lets single fathers know you are absolutely important. No matter what the situation has occurred, you know, unfortunately could have lost somebody like I did, or you could be in the middle of dealing with custody issues, or you could have been a biological father who is now making the choice to become a dad. And yes, there's a learning curve in all those scenarios. And a group like the Spirit of Fatherhood, they're giving incredible information, insights, and motivation to help these men continue to walk their single parenting journey. Another group that I really have fallen in love with is called Black Fathers. I mean, they've got over 100,000 members. And I just love the fact, being a Black man, I love the fact that other brothers can acknowledge the circumstances that we go through as Black men. This is not about single parenting or anything. This is about being a Black man navigating America and still holding his head up high, having his chest out, and having his children look at him as a model, as someone who can help them navigate through their way in the future, who can also give them the love and the respect, the guidance, and sometimes the discipline that they need. But all of it's being done out of absolute love. There's another group that I've fallen in love with because this group acknowledges the fact that dads that have daughters, they have to parent them differently. This group is called Dads with Daughters. Real simple. And again, I have two girls. And I know what I had to go through in order to be an effective girl dad. I had to make sure that I understood the things my daughters were going through. For me, I was a single father. Like I said, my wife unfortunately died. And and at the time, they were 14 and 17. I had the steepest learning curve. A group like Dads with Daughters, it can provide important information. It can give inspiration, motivate a dad to move forward and do his thing, and not be afraid to spend quality time with his daughter. I mean, I love hanging out with my two girls. They're now 23 and 26, but I just got off the phone with my youngest, and she's up at University of Connecticut, law school, doing her thing. But she sent me the sweetest Father's Day. She was like, "Dad, you're like one of my best friends." Obviously not when she was younger. I was dad, but now as she's growing up in the world, she's realizing that a lot of the things that I was showing her when she was younger are applicable now. My oldest daughter sent me a text, and she had to work today, but she said, "Daddy, I will call you as soon as I get off." and we'll spend some time talking. I have to realize that these two girls, if it wasn't for them, I would not have the honor of being a father. And groups like Dads with Daughters allows fathers to understand that there's something special about that relationship. And of course, there are going to be some challenges along the way, but that's what these groups are about. These groups are about being able to help people navigate through the challenges. There's another group I want to acknowledge. The last one I want to talk about is called Single Dads Matter. And we matter because, again, the world already thinks that a father is not a culpable parent without having a maternal figure around. That's already difficult. That's the way society sees things. But when you're a single father and you don't have that maternal influence, you have to learn. And that learning is crazy because women have a biological connection to their children. Men have to develop a neurological connection to their children. And that neurological connection has to become a very strong bond so that they can parent effectively and that their children can understand the value of that fatherhood experience and realize that's doing its thing. That is stepping up so that I can be the best version of me. And down the line, when I become a father or when I become a mother, I can look back and say, you know, I learned a lot from my dad. My dad taught me so many things. And when you're a single father, that is one of the biggest acknowledgments in the world because you realize you've done it on your own, even against society's better view. You've done your thing. So, to wrap all this up, I just simply want to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Whether you're a single father, or you are co parenting, or you're in a relationship, when you're married, and you're a father. When you're a father who is a dad, that is integral to the relationship that you build with those kids. And it's not too late for those fathers who are biological fathers. It means you're going to have a come to Jesus moment. You're going to have to take responsibility. And you're going to have to deal with all the backlash, all the situations, everything you went through. You have to take that on the chin because it's no longer about you. It's about the relationship that you forge, the relationship that you forge with your children. That's key. Stop thinking about yourself and think about them. And over time, you will get the privilege of being able to understand the value of Father's Day. So again, all my dads out there, congratulations on doing your thing. This is your day. You deserve it. Talk to you later.